Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's your guy Coldfire, and I am continuing with part 2 of the press conference of Madonna for the Directors Guild in Los Angeles for Evita. And she's holding up quite well. She's got that mother glow going about her. She's maintaining her dignity so far. I've seen her kind of like ricochet a couple of questions. But I believe if you're going to get in front of a microphone and ask a celebrity a question, you need to be thorough and direct with your question to where it's understandable to it, because at this time in her life, you're wasting her time by not getting the questions out. You're like, just get the damn question out and ask them, the way you want to ask it. Don't be scared to ask her. She's either going to shoot you down or give you the right answer. But the one thing that she likes is, she likes a direct question. Some of the questions I've heard in here, she's had to reiterate that, okay, like you're talking about the movie, or are you talking about me as a performing or in the movie? Stuff like that. So let's get on with part 2.
Did he tell you that, by the way?
No, it was in the production notes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now that you've done, Evita and you actually learned to sing in a different way, how is this going to affect the way you sing and the way you write your music from now on? Your next album, perhaps?
Well, I think that in studying with a vocal coach to be able to sing the songs for this movie, I've learned how to use my voice in a different way, so that will affect me. Go ahead.
Yeah, one last question. The song You Must Love Me, that is yours alone. Elaine Page didn't do it, Julie Covington didn't do it. So how do you think that song added to the character, Evita?
A lot.
For the movie and for yourself?
I think that it showed another side of her that needed to be shown in the movie. The side of her that really was in love with Perron. And I think it was important for a song to be like that in the movie.
Was that the highest point for you, that song? Or was it another song?
You mean singing it?
Mm-hmm.
No. I think my favorite song is The Lament, which is the last song.
Why?
Because it's beautiful and sad and simple.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Julietta Jameson from News Limited Australia. Just on that song, that was such a great performance at that moment on your part. Where did that all come from? Was it? It looked fantastic. Everyone was crying along with you. So how did that? What was the inspiration?
Oh, I'll never tell.
Go on. And what was it like singing on the balcony too? Because that was one of those moments.
Great.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Was it the first time you walked out then, or had you done a run through on it, or?
Well, we filmed every time I went out there, so by the time it got to the close-ups, I had already been on the balcony many times, but when we did the wide shots and I'd gone out on the balcony, it was the first time and it was incredible.
Wow. And I read somewhere, if it's true or not, that your vocal coach made you cry, because I imagine that would have been quite difficult to work up that voice. So is that true? And can you elaborate on that a bit?
Did she make me cry?
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't try to, believe me. She'd been giving it, she's a tough coach, and it was in the very beginning, and all the exercises I had to do were so technical, and I felt incredibly intimidated, and I thought that I couldn't. I just said, I left that lesson thinking, okay, that's it, I can't sing at all, and it's hopeless. But I came back.
Even you feel that way, my goodness. And just one final thing, it was an astounding and quite profound coincidence that you fell pregnant and you were doing this movie that meant so much to you. Did that strike you at the time, and did you have any thoughts on that?
Yes.
And anything you'd like to share?
I just thought that I had been given two incredible gifts at once and that I was the luckiest girl in the world.
Thanks.
And we were going to start all over again and start with a different song and do that song again with a different orchestra. And then it was fine the second time. Everybody had opening night jitters.
Jimmy Nell told me yesterday about being in the recording studio and you bashing him with a suitcase. Now,
Oh.
that means...
Oh, now it's a suitcase.
Yeah, exactly. Is there any truth
I didn't
to that?
hit him in the head with a suit. In the studio, I hit him with the microphone. On the set, I hit him with a suitcase.
But even in the recording studio, were you going through an awful lot of mental preparation then?
Yeah, we had to rehearse the scenes as we were singing them. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, over here, Ana Maria Baiana with Global Network Brazil. And actually, I would like to follow up on the question that you said was just answered, but you gave such a great answer. But I was wondering, a moment ago you said you utilized the anger and the hurt that you felt by being in Argentina and reading all the terrible press reports about you. I was wondering if, in the same vein, if you utilize the positive energy or even the emotional availability that comes with knowing that you're pregnant, if you utilize this, because as I was watching the movie, I kept thinking about it all the time, because the character goes through such much wrenching moments, especially towards the end.
Yes.
Did you utilize it, and how?
Well, I think it gave me strength to know that there was a life growing inside of me, and it gave me a certain sense of serenity, too.
And how do you feel now? The film's coming out, the fruit of your labors, both the fruit of both
Both
your
of my
labors.
babies are born.
Yeah, so is there a sense of closure? Is there a sense of impulse going forward? How do you feel now?
Incredible.
How incredible.
Incredibly incredible.
Thank you so very much.
Hi,
I could not sit up on a stage and answer these questions, you know, because so many of them are so redundant. I mean, some of them are mostly the same, but this is what happens during a press conference. It's something you have to endure. Silly questions, you know, them trying to, you know, pick pieces out of your life and everything. Like, I guess they were trying to allude that her hormones somehow played a part in the emotions of Evita. Which, you know, if they did, that's great. It worked out perfect. So, let's continue on.
this is Peter from Hungary, returning your visit. Do you feel that Antonio Banderas did a good job as far as singing is concerned?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Do you?
never. Not really.
Uh-huh.
What's uh-huh?
Well, I would assume that... Never mind. We'll arm wrestle about it later.
No. Okay, so I never actually found out what the main reason was behind the whole set coming to Hungary on location.
Why did we come to Hungary?
Mhm.
Because you have such incredible buildings that...
Well,
and
yeah, I know that, but why was it that you couldn't film the whole?
in Argentina?
Yeah.
Because all the funeral processions and all the scenes where we had to use entire avenues, there's no way we could have, that the city of Argentina would have let us block off entire streets like that, and they gave us permission to do that in Budapest. And your streets, believe it or not, are very similar to the ones in Argentina.
Don't tell me I used to live on that street.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay, one last question. Do you think, have you seen the movie yet?
Yeah.
Do you think, what? It's not, I mean, it's not usual. And so do you think they appear as authentic? The pictures?
Do I what?
Do you think they appear authentic, the Budapest scenes?
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
sure.
Hi, this is Guillermo Wilkin from Mexico City, TV Azteca. Although the songs were already recorded while filming, was it very hard to sing while acting and acting while singing? Can you talk about this?
Well, I think that you have to act when you sing anyways, no matter what.
True.
I mean, you have to portray some sort of an emotion. I think the hardest thing was to make when we were lip syncing to the music we already recorded, was to make that real, to make that emotionally true in the moment. We ended up doing a lot of stuff live as well, and sometimes it was incredibly difficult to sing along to music that was already done. That was the hardest part about it, but we made it work.
Yeah. Who other women do you think have earned or have a very interesting history of life, so to tell in a movie, like Tina Modotti, for example? Who other woman in this century have, I don't know, Jacqueline Onassis, so what do you think?
Who is a woman like?
I mean, which woman do you think has a very interesting life, so you can tell it in a movie?
Well, Tina Modotti.
For example, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many women. Martha Graham.
Technical difficulties there for a second.
I mean, these aren't just... I could tell you lots of women, not people that I would necessarily want to portray in a movie. Maybe somebody else could. Georgia O'Keeffe. Mostly artists and writers. Lillian Hellman. I mean, how big of a list do you want?
Which ones of those would you like to play?
Tina. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Madonna over here. Sandy Pintado from ACP Australia. Where and when was the first time you heard the original Don't Cry from the Argentina, and did it make you cry as much as your own version?
The first time I heard, well, there's a lot of different versions. You mean Elaine Page's version?
Yep.
I think it was when I was first asked to do the movie. I think it was about 7 years ago. Did it make me cry?
As much as your own version?
No. Mm-mm.
And also, just on another note, would you ever consider doing a dance version of any of the songs for clubs?
I believe I have.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Top secret information.
Thank you.
Hi, Madonna. Congratulations, Ana Maria Canseco, Telemundo. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I really, really enjoy it. And one of my favorite scenes was the balcony, and also when you were dancing tango. And I figured out how difficult was it for you and Antonio Banderas to get so compenetrated and to dance those scenes so magically. They were actually magic.
Well, we had a lot of tango lessons, first of all, and it just happened. It wasn't that difficult, to tell you the truth. He's a great dancer. He's a great actor, and he was really easy to work with. So.
And before the scene of the balcony, what was your feelings about going out and all those people waiting for you? It was also another very interesting moment that I promise you, everyone here started feeling their heart beating. It was also very interesting. What was your feelings before going out and confront all these people?
Well, I was incredibly nervous and excited. It was kind of like how I feel when I go out on stage before a concert, but even more so than that, because I felt that it was a historical moment. It was something that we had waited so long for, to have permission to go out on that balcony, plus the fact that it was an actual place that Ava stood so many times before, so I felt like history was repeating itself, and it was a very magical moment.
And what was your own special moment of the film?
That's tough. I have so many. I couldn't tell you just one.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Silvia Bizzo, La Repubblica of Italy. As an Italian, I'm curious to know which aspects of the life of Tina Modotti had particularly intrigued you and you would like to explore.
Well, I'm interested in practically every aspect of her life. The fact that she started out as a silent movie actress, that then she became the muse of Edward Weston, and then she learned how to take photographs herself, that she became a very active communist and became a freedom fighter, that she was a very intelligent, independent, courageous woman that stood up for her rights and took chances and did a lot of great things.
So obviously some of the characteristics also that Eva Peron had.
Yes, except one's a fascist and one's a communist.
But as a woman, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to be going to Italy in about 10 days for the premiere. I'm also curious what relationship you have with Italy. Do you go there happily? Do you feel
I can't
that
wait
Italian?
to go. I love Rome. I mean, I love so many places in Italy, but and I miss going there on tour, but I don't know, it's been difficult. I've had a difficult time going there. I think the last time I was on tour, I think I was forbidden to come into the country or something. I don't know. Something about the Pope and, you know.
But aren't you visiting the Pope?
We know
this
that
time?
story.
You're having an
I would love to have a visit with the Pope. I think he should meet my daughter.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
John Norris. I'm here for MTV Latino today, actually, though. So
Really?
Can you
Do you
seem
speak
Latin?
Spanish?
Journeyman Spanish only.
Right.
And to that end, a couple more Argentine queries, if you will. And I know you talked about the diaries earlier, and I think when you read the diaries about the time you were in Buenos Aires, it seems pretty ambivalent. I mean, there were good days and bad days, and obviously things like the incident with Carice is not something I don't think anyone would want to go through. And I just wonder, can you remember what you would say a high point, if it was the Casa Rosada, maybe it was, and what was the low point of being in Buenos Aires?
Well, being on the Casa Rosada balcony was one of the high points. Also, just like there's a couple of scenes in the movie where I'm riding on the train and the horses are galloping across. I mean, it was so beautiful and so horrible all at the same time. It was so dusty and so hot, but it was so beautiful and majestic. I mean, I've never seen such a beautiful sight before. So many of those moments, you know, where we were out in the pueblos, out on the plains, and, you know, it took so long to get there. We were all suffering from the heat, but once you got there and you saw the beauty of the place, it was, like, worth it. The low point? I think, well, just being trapped in my hotel room all the time, really. Not being able to go out and walk around like everybody else. I was terribly jealous of everyone. So.
Someone earlier asked about, you know, why you couldn't have shot all those scenes in Argentina. Were there times that you wondered to yourself, why do we have to come here at all?
Where, to Budapest?
No, to Buenos Aires. Were there times when you...
Never.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the first couple of days when I got trampled every day, right. Yeah. But once we started working and I saw the extras and how great everybody was and how emotional everybody was, it was just like, wow. Then
one final thing, is there going to be a premiere in Buenos Aires, and any chance that you'll be down there for that?
I don't think there's going to be one, and I think President Menem's probably really mad at me now or something. I didn't mean anything bad.
Right.
Would you tell him that, please?
Hi, I'm Sam Oda again for Japanese press. Why did you want to play the role Evita? And you mentioned earlier on that 7 years ago you was first approached with the role, but then I believe that you turned it down once. What was the reason behind that?
I never turned it down. Why did I want to play her? Because she's an incredible woman. She's just, I mean, you know the answer, right? You just want me to say it, right?
Exactly.
Because she's just such a complex woman with, and I think the fact that people are so, you know, either incredibly for her or incredibly against her shows that she just influenced and provoked people, and she was very powerful. And she achieved a great deal, especially considering the time and that it's a Latin country. I mean, how often does a woman exercise that kind of influence over an entire country? That's a good reason, right?
Yeah. One last question. What was the experience like working with Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice?
It was interesting. Well, it was, you know what? I thought it was going to be really hard, but I ended up learning a lot, and I think that Tim is a brilliant lyricist, and I think that Andrew is a brilliant composer. I think that they've written some incredibly emotional music, and, you know, I had my moments in the studio where I was just, you know, complaining and saying, oh God, I can't believe I have to hit all these notes, sing all these different rhythmic changes. It was really hard, but it was a great challenge for me, and now that I see it all put together, I see, you know, how genius their work is.
Do you think you'll be working with him in the future again?
I have no idea. It would have to be something new. I can't see myself in Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, it's Mikko from Finland again. I'm over here.
You again?
It's me again.
I thought you had no more goals.
See, I'm closer now.
I see.
If you were shooting the movie now, how would you do it differently?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Mm-mm.
Any little things you would like to change if you had the chance?
I think there was a brooch I wore on a suit in one of these scenes I wish I wouldn't have worn, but I mean, other than that, no. Nothing.
And when looking at your albums, you've been in charge yourself. You've been the boss, the producer, pretty much. On the soundtrack, was it different doing it, like cooperating with so many people?
Was it difficult?
Was it different from the other?
Well, yeah. Absolutely. There was a lot of people involved in the making of this record. The composers, Alan, myself, and all the other actors. I mean, there's a lot of collaboration going on. So it was very different.
What kind of influences did your music get from Evita, Andrew Lloyd Webber?
I don't know. I haven't started writing anything yet. We shall see. I don't know. Okay. Now you go sit down and think of a better question.
Hi, over here again. It's me again, and this is not going to be strange. I know that you did an extensive research into the life of Eva, a lot more than the film could possibly cover. Now, what else was it that you discovered about her life that we don't know, or the masses don't know?
You mean that it wasn't in the movie?
It wasn't in the movie, and that is not really written about a lot. I'm thinking maybe also about, you know, I read that she had an operation, that she refused to have a hysterectomy that would have saved her life in the end.
Well, I think she was very afraid. You know, I don't think people were terribly honest with her about her illness. I think a lot of people were afraid to tell her how sick she was. But in addition to that, I think she was really paranoid, and she had this obsession. She thought that people were trying to poison her, and so that she wouldn't have so much power, especially during the time when she was planning to run for the vice presidency. So I think she ran away from anyone trying to give her an injection. I think she was afraid of all medication. She didn't trust her doctors and thought that had some weird paranoid delusion that people were trying to hurt her, kill her, or get rid of her in some way. She probably could have saved her life.
The other thing is that a lot of speculation was then done about the fact whether Juan Perón really loved her, or if she really loved him. What was your impression of that relationship?
I think they did love each other, because I think that Perón took so much time with her and really taught her everything she knew, and took her under his wing. I mean, you don't do the things that he did if you don't love someone like that. And I think she sacrificed her life for him.
One last thing, I also read that she used to also throw herself into the masses and kiss everybody, and wouldn't even care if they were sick. And you know, there's the story about the woman who had a sore, and somebody threw himself between her and that woman. Now, I know that there's a similarity to your life. You've done...
I don't kiss people with sores, I swear.
No, but you have, even though it was very quietly done, an amazingly helped friends of yours and people with AIDS, and you've done an incredible job there. And Evita used to say, this is the price I have to pay if I catch something. Obviously, you know, a lot of people have still this thing that they can't get close to sick people, especially not people with AIDS. You have been very good in, you know, taking away those borders and opening this up. Do you feel this is a price that you have to pay, that you go out and you know, expose yourself? I don't mean to the sickness, but to the criticism and the puritanism that goes along with that.
Yes, I suppose it's a price I have to pay, but I don't think about it that way. I mean, I think that it's our responsibility to help people that we can help. I mean, all of us. And if I can exercise a certain amount of influence and bring attention to something that needs to have attention brought to it because I am who I am, then I do believe that that's my responsibility, and I do it gladly. But
you go, girl.
I'm not sure if I think of it as a price I have to pay.
No, that was just in relation to Eva.
Oh.
I mean,
yeah, I suppose.
Thank you.
Madonna, what was it like working with Antonio Banderas, and how ironic was it finally getting to work with him after meeting him years ago when you did Truth or Dare?
It was great working with him, and well, the thing is that the movie had been sort of on and off for years, so we had already gotten together and started rehearsing and become friends, and so by the time the movie actually happened, it wasn't like we hadn't been speaking all of those years. But we were both incredibly glad that it happened. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm here, Lorenzo Sorio from Italy. Madonna, you talked before about, in one of your answers, how one of the reasons why you felt close to Evita was her loneliness and her sadness.
Mm.
Can you tell us more, I mean, how much that is part of your life?
Well,
and also maybe in relation to you having been at the top for so long and since you were young.
Well, when I was talking about her sadness and her loneliness, I meant the sadness and loneliness that she felt as a child. She was, as I said, she didn't really have a father, and I think she was teased a lot as a child because she was an illegitimate child, and I think that that sadness and the injustice that she felt, she kind of carried with her the rest of her life. It was something she never really got rid of.
But I was asking...
Yes, well, let me finish.
Yes, sorry.
And I think that that's true of me, but I think it's true of all of us. I think that we are all somehow wounded as children in some way or another, and we kind of carry that with us the rest of our lives. It's not always a bad thing. I think that you can make sadness... I mean, I think that I've used my sadness in very positive and creative ways.
One more question. Have you seen the Argentinian Eva Perón, the film?
Have I seen it?
Yeah. The Eva Perón made in Argentina. The movie.
Is this the one they're making right now?
No, it's finished and it's out.
Oh, I haven't seen it, no.
Thank you.
Madonna, that's me again. It's been mentioned through this press conference about the criticism levelled at you that you had to put up with in Argentina. What hasn't really been mentioned is for the first time when you went for the role, and then certainly now, a lot of criticism came from within your own industry, from the film industry, and from the musical industry, not but from actresses who wanted it and said she couldn't play the part, from singers who maybe even have done Evita said she couldn't play or sing the part. How physically, mentally, knowing you're a perfectionist, was that hard to deal with, and how hard was it to do it? Because you have done it.
Well, I can assure you that it just gave me even more of a... It gave me more of an impetus to sort of prove them wrong. You know, it gave me more fuel to say, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to show them. So they actually helped me.
And being a perfectionist and going through the vocal lessons again with Joan later, I mean, like, was that always conscious in your mind, even though it may have been hard with her at times, saying, I've got to do this, I've got to?
Well, it would come and go. I mean, I wasn't paralyzed by it. I mean, sometimes I thought about it, and sometimes I didn't. I mean, I got a lot of encouragement from her, and that helped.
And secondly, we've had the preview today. On Saturday is sort of the first world premiere. You say you were nervous walking out on the balcony in Buenos Aires. You say at times you're very nervous walking out prior to walking out on stage. How nervous are you, or were you today, and how nervous will you be on Saturday afternoon when it's for everyone to see?
I'm not really nervous now, and I wasn't when I got here, but I think I'll probably be pretty nervous on Saturday, because I'll be wearing higher heels, and I won't want to trip.
Well, I don't think you have anything nervous to be about. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, last question. And many people now are awaiting the answer from the people of Argentina regarding this film, but do you take care of the religious stuff, considering that in the past you have problems with like a prayer? Now you are dealing with the Pope on the movie. Do you take care of this religious stuff?
I'm dealing with the Pope in this movie?
Well, in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, in the movie?
In the movie.
Oh, well, I'm not playing myself.
Yeah, but do you take care in order not to hurt anybody in your attitude with the religious stuff on the movie? Did you...
Well, Ava was a devout Catholic, so, I mean, I was, and she was welcomed at the Vatican when she was on tour in Europe. I mean, I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't playing myself. I just had to play her, and that was it. I don't know what your question is.
Yeah, because maybe you have to read a lot of things about Evita, but in that particular way, maybe your attitude or something like that maybe could hurt somebody about the religion.
Could somebody please translate this question?
No. I just want to know if you take care of some in your attitude or something, just to don't hurt the religious stuff.
Changed. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks very much for coming.
Well, that was the conclusion, part 2 of Madonna press conference for Evita screening at the Directors Guild in Los Angeles. And yeah, that last question he couldn't get out right. I think what he was trying to say is because she rebels against religion as Madonna, did she go in, did she have to be careful when she was playing Evita with the religious symbols all around her, meeting the Pope and all that? Well, that wasn't the real Pope, for one thing. So, and when you're acting, I'm pretty sure that she wasn't thinking so much, you know, like she would her own videos. In her own videos, she has pretty much the say on what she can do, what she wants to push, what she wants to rebel against and all that. But like you said, even the album, you know, most of her albums she had total control over. But when it comes to working with a lot of albums on a major motion picture, you don't have as much control. So I think the biggest thing that I can take out of this is she had to let a lot of that self-control take over, which probably she probably liked a lot because of the fact that she was pregnant, it was tiring, and it was hard work, and it was probably good and relaxing for her to know that there was a lot of people backing her up, helping her with the music, helping her with the sound, helping her, you know, with the vocal coaching and all this other stuff. And I thought it was a great interview. I wish they had done more probing questions as far as, you know, asking pretty much, it felt like the same one, like in some kind of way, but maybe it was just me. But anyways, I do hope that you guys enjoyed that reaction to the interview of Madonna at the Actors Directors Guild in Los Angeles for the screening of Evita. And I really hope that you stick around. I'm going to do some more interviews from the Evita promotions and stuff like that. So have a great day. Love you. And if you haven't already, just hit that subscribe button down below. And I love you.